weekends we have had in the past, recent past.
Yeah, I mean, here in San Diego it was really calm. Luckily, this storm system that's still bringing snow up in Northern California kind of stopped right there at the California Bight. So the terrain of our state helped kind of protect San Diego. We didn't see it dive further south. The jet stream did not dig down. So that's why we had a mild weekend. Hopefully you had a chance to enjoy it. This week is looking pretty mild. Our next chance of rain here in town does not look like it's going to arrive until Friday, Saturday. So for now, as you look up towards Northern California, you'll notice that snow is still coming. So just last week alone, 500 inches of snow for the Tahoe Mountains, the Sierra Nevada mountain range, extending all the way further south, Mammoth, San Bernardino. That's why people were stuck. A lot of these buildings, these roads, they're not used to that kind of thing. So the amount of snow plows trying to plow that region is just, they've had a tough time. Looking right now at any chance of sprinkles, we might see a drop here and there in the North County. As you saw, LA was getting a little bit of that. I don't think it's going to be much, not anything measurable. 43 degrees right now in Fallbrook, 40 Escondido, 42 in Poway, 50 for downtown San Diego. We are a little bit cooler still compared to yesterday at this time. A lot of people waking up to warmer conditions, but our temperatures are going to be pretty consistent with what we've had the past several days. Upper 50s, low 60s. That's it. So 60 in Imperial Beach, 59 San Ysidro, 62 in El Cajon and Santee, 62 downtown San Diego, 57 in La Jolla. These numbers very similar to last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So no major change. What you'll notice would be some high-level clouds and a little bit of low-level clouds, and that's kind of all we're seeing. So in fact, let me run this through, and you'll see if we do get a little sprinkle here and there. As you noticed, right there is really quick, fast passing through, and just a few drops. So there is that small chance. But throughout the day, here's a look at those clouds that we may see. Tomorrow should be a little bit clearer as that system moves to the east. So yes, the Northern California system bringing us a little bit more cloud coverage today. And then as that moves along, we will be left with sunshine. So tomorrow will be another sunny, pretty nice day. Today, you'll likely see the sun here and there, little pockets of opening for you. But we'll talk more about the rest of this week here coming up in your forecast and our next chance of rain when that's expected. We'll time that out. And then looking ahead long range wise, it's pretty interesting what we're seeing could be happening here. Eric, I'll send it back to you.
Yes.
Yeah, depends on your age. But yeah, 6 to 7, I think, is what I get on average. Sometimes try to get for 8 because that's the goal there. Okay, so it does look very bright. Check out this light right here. That's the moon. It is 4:51 right now, and you'll notice across San Diego, it may seem like there's a bright light. Maybe your neighbor left the light on. Most likely it's this. It's a waxing gibbous for now. Tomorrow at 4:40 a.m., it'll be a full moon. So we'll get to show that to you live here on the air, especially since these west-facing cameras are not showing it setting quite yet. We still have about 30 minutes or so before the moon sets. And our cloud coverage this morning, it's spotty in nature. You'll notice this system, another cold system coming through Northern California, affecting much of the Sierra Nevada mountain range and obviously North Mendocino area, it looks like. But further south, right here in San Diego, all we're getting are some sweeping high clouds and maybe a little bit of marine layer cloud coverage later on this morning, but it does look like you're clearing in some areas. A few spots of green, as you'll notice right there, that stay to the north of us. If we do get any, it'll likely be just really light drizzle up in Northern California. So what you're waking up to this morning, fairly mild, pretty calm. It is 27 Mount Laguna, so still cold there, 34 in Julian. But the rest of San Diego, west of our mountains, you're in the 40s for the most part, except downtown. Look at you at 50 degrees. This is a fairly warmer start to the morning compared to last week, for example, when we had those frost advisories. But it is actually 4 to 5 degrees cooler than yesterday at this time. And also checking in on our winds, barely a breeze, so really a mild day. 13 mile per hour wind in Julian, 6 in Sill Hill. You are the winners. Boulevard at 16. So the mountains, a slight breeze. But other than that, I don't think today's going to be that impactful as far as our weather goes. The system that we are watching for up in Northern California is staying put up there. And it looks like all we're going to get is a little onshore push. That's this afternoon. And that's kind of it. So a little west to east wind. Afternoon highs today, 62 downtown. Same with Coronado, 62 National City and Santee and El Cajon. very popular number, as you see. 59 in San Marcos, same with Encinitas, low 60s in Oceanside, 41 in places like Palomar. So very calm. We're still below average though, and here's what's coming. We do have another low that's headed up into Northern California yet again. For us, we're watching for that next chance of rain, and you'll notice right there, Friday, Saturday, that's our next possibility that we could get rain, the tail end yet again of another storm. So this week, things are looking really mild, barely anything. Then Friday, Saturday will be our days where we're watching for that next system. As far as Saturday goes, if you have weekend plans coming, it's likely going to be in the morning, that Friday night into Saturday morning kind of event, but it's still very early to tell. You'll notice too, temperatures are warming up by Thursday, Friday, a little bit of an increase there, back to near average conditions. Eric.
We'll be hosting its first community meetings to inform the public on its plans to install these smart street lights we've been telling you about.
Right. This is something that a lot of people, have had opinions on during these meetings. The public, you will get a chance to weigh in on this idea. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol live outside the Otay Mesa Nestor Branch Library, where one of those meetings will take place. Good morning. As well for those opinions. So make your voices heard if you want to. Many of you have been telling us about your SDG&E bills. Many of you have experienced these higher than ever bills, and now the utility wants to raise your rates even more. So today's your first chance to weigh in on this. Now, the California Public Utilities Commission holding 4 public hearings for feedback on these rate increases. The increase is slated for next year. We're working for you to track how this will impact your bill, how much higher it could go. If the rate increase is approved, monthly electric bills will increase $8.45 per month. Your gas bill will then go up $9.16 per month. SDG&E says the rate increase will help maintain safety and reduce emissions. Today's hearing will be held remotely at 6 p.m. You can also leave written comments. We have all that information at CBS8.com. Just click on the help button. So dangerous for so many people. People were told not to go up to the mountains. We saw a lot of traffic accidents over the weekend. People swerving because it's icy. It is caked with snow, and the plows just can't get to all of those roads fast enough. Here at home, totally different. We are so lucky that we are at the southern end of our state because none of that storm has affected us, especially over the weekend. Hopefully you had a nice one. What we're only noticing this morning, a few areas with clouds coming through. Slight chance, really slight chance of drizzle. Not really noticing it creeping into San Diego quite yet because the storm track stays way to the north of us for now. Most of these storms that we're going to see here over the next several days do look like they're going to keep impacting northern parts of central California. We will actually warm up a little bit by the end of the week, most likely Wednesday, Thursday, even into Friday. But there is our next chance of rain come Friday, Saturday. So this is what I was talking about. More snow still coming in for northern California, and you'll notice right here in the LA area, a little bit of spotty, really light kind of activity. And for San Diego, if we get it, it'll likely be, it looks like Camp Pendleton area, San Clemente, maybe moving south into Oceanside, so possibly North County. It's not going to be anything measurable, just something to note if you're wondering why your windshield might be a little bit damp. 40 degrees right now in Escondido, 36 in Ramona. You're at 45 in La Mesa, 47 Chula Vista. So a lot of 40s to start off this morning. We're still cooler than we were yesterday. Look at that, 3 to 6 degrees cooler, as you'll notice. So, the weekend was nice, and hopefully you're going to enjoy this type of weather pattern because we're going to have this all the way through at least the Thursday. Literally, all we're noticing right there would be clouds that are coming into the mix throughout the day. You'll get pockets of sun this afternoon, and then we'll time out the next round of rain. And looking long term to what's expected to happen here. That's all coming up in your forecast. Eric, that toxic train derailment in Ohio. A second Norfolk Southern train derailed in Ohio yet again. So you just saw the moment it happened. A cell phone, that's all of us, right? Of a newer form of identity theft. It's called SIM swapping. So listen to this. Basically, it's a scammer who might already have your personal information, like having your phone number, and will call your cell phone company pretending to be you. 45 minutes at 6:02 is the official time for moon set. I just checked. Sunrise, as you see, will be at 6:10. So shortly after the moon sets, up comes the sun, and then we'll get obviously even more bright lights. But right now, yeah, a lot of you are wondering why the lights are on all in your neighborhood, and it's that right there. A waxing gibbous moon. Tomorrow will be the official full moon on March 7th. And you'll notice the moon, because we don't have that much cloud coverage this morning. There are some areas where it's kind of thin, higher clouds like across the South Bay. But overall, I mean, it's a nice start to the day. Taking a look downtown, 50 degrees. This is our gorgeous view from Mount Soledad. You'll see the tall towers of downtown, and that's Tijuana right there at the very top of your screen. So fairly clear. We don't have the marine layer very active at all this morning. A lot of that staying over the ocean, and our temperatures are pretty mild. 45 in El Cajon, 46 La Mesa, 47 Chula Vista. This week, no frost advisory to let you know about, although it is below freezing in Palomar and Mount Laguna at 27 degrees. So I saw a lot of surfers this weekend going out in the water. Finally, they were thinking, okay, the runoff is done. Let's get our little fix in. 2 to 4 footers up to 5 footers. And what you'll notice is high tide is pretty high. Low tide gets pretty low, all associated with that moon, of course, pulling on our tides. So this morning at 8:15, we'll have high tide 5.3 feet. You'll see a lot of the beach taken over by water. And then low tide, it'll be about 3 p.m. That's a good time to go out for that walk along the coastline. If you prefer afternoon, that's for Mount Woodson, for example. High clouds and a little mix of low clouds coming through. So notice you'll probably see the sun here and there, but it could get swept over by the cloud coverage. So overall, that's kind of all we're dealing with today. 60 degrees in Imperial Beach, 62 National City, Chula Vista. Same with Santee and El Cajon. So a lot of upper 50s, low 60s yet again. We saw that on Friday into the weekend. All stayed fairly consistent. We're not noticing any major changes. The system to the north, that's up in Northern California. Unfortunately, this weekend, they got blasted by another round of heavy snowfall. 500 inches in 1 week. That's a lot for these mountain regions, mountain communities. The next round of rain that we will get likely will impact us here Friday into Saturday. So you'll notice that in your 8-day, we're going to stay dry all the way through Thursday. In fact, a little bit of an increase in your temperatures by then. And then Friday, Saturday, our next round of rain. It may impact half of your weekend. It's still very early to time all of this out, but of course it's something we're watching for. And Eric, I'll send it back to you now. Of killing her stepfather, she's going to learn her fate this morning. Chris Grow will have a live look, a closer look at the possible
objects at a sea line at La Jolla Cove just last weekend, and now lifeguards telling us, look, they're constantly having to remind visitors to just leave these animals alone.
Yeah, harassing seals, sea lions over at the cove or anywhere really along our coastline is illegal, but it's still happening on a regular basis. They're here this morning. If you want to go for a walk, I would say it's going to be a pretty nice day to do that. Not as cold as what we saw last week, for example. We don't have a frost advisory to talk about. Any type of activity that you see looks to be to the north of us still. So you'll notice poor Northern California. I mean, right there, the Tahoe area, the Sierra Nevada mountain range, 500 inches of snow, more still coming today with this system. It's kind of stubborn and just sitting right over there. So it looks like today, even tomorrow, they could still get some of that moisture coming through. It's cold enough, obviously, where you'll see that snow coming down. For us in Southern California, all of that just kind of winding down before it gets anywhere close to San Diego. That's why our weekend was so nice. There's not this case. For us, while we're noticing just a few areas of clouds, and you'll notice a little green right there. It looks like Camp Pendleton area. You might get a drizzle here and there, but it's a pretty mild day, a pretty mild week. 50 degrees for downtown San Diego. Winds barely a breeze, 3 miles per hour, and 37 right now in Ramona. You're at 40 in Escondido, 41 in the Hawaii area. So you're headed to the upper 50s, low 60s for today. Just dress accordingly to that. If you dressed comfortably this weekend, we're going to get a lot of the same. So just do it again. 60 in Mira Mesa, 57 La Jolla, 59 in Ensenada, 60 degrees in Vista. Probably a layer kind of day as we start off in the 40s and only get up to around 60 degrees. We're still below average. These temperatures not quite normal for us this time of year, but we're going to hover there there today, tomorrow, and even into Wednesday. And then by Thursday, we will see our temperatures warming up. So ignore this only 24 days away now from Padres opening day. It's happening soon. The team has been looking really good during spring training.
Yeah, yesterday the Padres take on the Oakland A's and some new faces too.
Workout in this morning or not, it will feel pretty nice outside. I will say it's in the 40s, so obviously you'll want to have your layers, but it's a mild day. So we don't have anything crazy happening, at least not for the next few days. It looks like our moon, there's a little teeny tiny sliver. It's starting to set, obviously, behind the marine layer clouds this morning. But as you'll notice, a lot of you will see the sun here today. Little pockets of clouds will enter into the mix here and there, but that's kind of the extent of what's happening in the weather world for us. Just a few clouds, a little drizzle up by Camp Pendleton right now, it looks like. So San Clemente, you're getting a little speckle here and there. All of this, the tail end, the very end of what's going on in Northern California, as another storm system that battered them over the weekend is kind of staying pretty stubborn. It's hovering right over this region, so you'll see more rain and snow up there, and we are just getting that little spotty activity, nothing measurable expected in San Diego. 43 for Fallbrook, 44 in Oceanside, you're at 50, downtown 47, Chula Vista, 40 degrees in Alpine. And compared to 24 hours ago, 3 to 4 degrees cooler for the most part. And this weekend was a pretty nice one. I saw a lot of surfers out there. They were missing going in the ocean, it looked like. So 2 to 4 footers with the potential of 5 today. It looks like that runoff has subsided. Of course, you'll want to check with the county map, see what beaches don't have the higher bacteria levels to make sure you're safe going in. But high tide 8:15 this morning, 5.3 feet. Low tide pretty low at negative 0.54. Excuse me, that'll be around 3 p.m. So the pull of that full moon, which will be full tomorrow morning, certainly impacting our tides. Hiking forecast upper 50s if you'd like to head out to Mount Woodson. Overall, your afternoon highs upper 50s, mostly low 60s, as you'll see. 62 in Coronado, same with National City, 60 La Mesa. I know you're probably missing the 70s in sunshine, but we will see sun and 60s for today. Some clouds will come in, and then they'll leave us. 46 in Julian, 43 Mount Laguna. The deserts, upper 60s for today. Overall, this system right here, it's pretty stubborn, and you'll notice the low just hovering today and tomorrow. So that's what came through over the weekend for them, and it's still hanging on, unfortunately, causing more issues, more snow piling up. And then there's another one close behind it. That one will be a wetter system for us by Friday, Saturday. That's when we might see some of that rain coming in. So you'll notice that in the 8-day for the next 4 days at least, today through Thursday. Our temperatures will have a slow increase, mid-60s by Thursday, and will stay there Friday, Saturday, even as the next round of rain comes through. So heads up for your Friday, Saturday. We'll get a better timing and amount of rainfall from this here over the next couple of days. Eric.
Well, this morning,
pregnant women of color are on the rise. We're going to hear from a local doctor on why this is happening.
Also at 6, there were fewer homeless people living in downtown San Diego last month. Why the latest number doesn't paint the full picture, though.
But up growing concerns about access to food and electricity in the mountains across California, as you see, buried in so much snow. CBS 8 spoke with a family from San Diego currently stuck in Lake Arrowhead. They're being told they may have to wait it out several more days. Well, authorities had to issue a SIG alert for roads into Julian yesterday because so many cars pulled over to play in the snow. CHP saying hundreds of cars parked on Sunrise Highway, so much so that they blocked traffic. Okay, that's not a parking lot, it's a roadway. Make sure to follow the rules if you're headed to the snow. And right now, you look at the live shot there. There's just a little bit left in Julian on the rooftop, but the sidewalks, the roads, obviously very clear for now. So a lot of that has melted away. Okay, let's talk about what's going on here locally for your forecast. Of course, the mountains, if you want to head out there, it's cold there, below freezing in some spots. But as you look across our coastline, 50 degrees this morning for downtown San Diego. And your weather headlines look like this. A few clouds coming through throughout the day. Maybe a little drizzle in the North County. Very spotty, very light, nothing measurable. And the storm track staying to the north of us for now. Yeah, Northern California is still getting more snow from this last system here. A slow warm up by the the end of our work week, but another chance of rain by Friday, Saturday. So a heads up for that. Here's that system I was talking about. You see more rain and mountain snow coming through up to the north, and this has been very stubborn. It really started for them Saturday, Sunday, still hovering Monday even into Tuesday. For us, what you'll notice, the little bit of green here in LA County moving its way further south. So let's zoom into San Diego, and you'll notice a spot here and there. Like I mentioned, nothing measurable, but don't be surprised if there's that light drizzle. Maybe you'll need your windshield wiper a couple times. 43 degrees in Encinitas, 42 for you in Poway, 39 in Escondido. We're a little bit cooler than we were yesterday at this time, 3 to 7 degrees cooler. And winds barely anything, 18 miles an hour in Julian, 6 for Sill Hill, but the rest of the county, as you'll notice, not much. We do have an increase in onshore flow coming up later on this afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock, west to east winds. You might get more of that marine layer and a mix of higher clouds. Here's a quick check. Degrees
yes,
downtown. It's more comfortable for us. Now here at CBS 8, we are always working for you. We're always working for our planet. And today's goal, here we have it, something you can try to do anytime throughout this year. There are upcycled fashion events that happen around town all the time. If you have not been to one of these, let's explain what it is. It's your chance to really go through a bunch of secondhand clothes, as you see here. You can find outfits that are fashionable. They're also sustainable, of course, because you'll be re-wearing other people's clothes when they're done with it. They could be like new for you. So here's an example. A local environmentalist and fashion expert, her name Positive Fee is what she goes by. She's holding another event like this one this Sunday. It's at Pure Project in North Park. So you pay $45 and you can get a beer or any non-alcohol option if you'd like, and you can fill up a big reusable bag with as many clothes that go into that bag. So over $45 worth of clothes will fit. This particular event mainly for women and children this Sunday, but they often have events with men's clothes, shoes, all kinds of things. You can drop off any of your clothes that you're no longer wearing there as well. So Positive Fee will take it and look through it all and put together some really nice fashionable finds. So here's your goal. Attend an upcycling event to find any fashionable, sustainable clothes. Something you may not have thought about that we have very often here in town. There are plenty of stores that do this as well. So Loca in Barrio Logan, one that we featured here on our show before, and there she is. This is the mastermind. She uses a lot of fabric from places like upholstery stores, turns them into really cool fashion, one-of-a-kind styles. So these are all pieces that she's put together of past pieces of fabric. If you have an outfit that you're proud of by way of upcycling, send us a picture through the CBS 8 app using the Near Me feature. You can also find a link to this coming weekend's event, how to sign up for that at cbs8.com. As we look at Del Mar, you'll notice a few clouds hovering over the beaches, just a little bit of cloud coverage coming in through North County, and that's where you might get a little drizzle. Otay Mountain's view now, I was hoping for that sunrise view, the official sunrise time at 6:10. You'll notice just a little clouds though covering that, but as we look out towards the east, we're seeing the sun coming up. Some of you may get a lot of sunshine today. Some may get more cloud coverage. It's kind of a mix of both for today. Our Mount Soledad view showing, of course, Mission Bay right there. Downtown Coronado Bridge. It's 49 degrees downtown San Diego, not 25. So, hey, we have that to look forward to today. Our temperatures are going to be moving their way up to about 60 degrees, as you'll see in our afternoon highs. Right now, you're starting off at 45 degrees in La Mesa, 46 for you in Chula Vista, up in Del Mar 46, 45 in Carlsbad, Encinitas 43, a lot of 40s over the next 12 hours. This is where we're going for today. Upper 50s, this is mainly for downtown, right by the coastline. So not a dramatic increase in temperatures, but we will still stay below average for today. Low 60s in National City, Chula Vista, 60 in La Mesa, 62 Santee and El Cajon. Moving up in North County, 60 in Vista, 59 Fallbrook, Oceanside at 62 degrees. And then our mountains, 43 for Mount Laguna, 46 Julian. Hopefully you got your fix of snow, but you know, temperatures are starting to each afternoon stay right around the 40s. So a lot of that snow is melting here locally. As far as what's going on with the next storm system, well, Northern California is still dealing with it. Days later now, this system has not left. So it's very stubborn. Through tomorrow, it's going to hang out there, unfortunately bringing heavier snowfall to the already several feet that they've just received. There's another system right behind it. That's going to tap into some southern moisture. It's going to be a warmer storm, and this may bring us some rain, but not until Friday, Saturday. So looking throughout the end of the week, that's when we could see our next round. And then look, by Sunday, another system. That one also looks like it's going to stay up in Northern California, not so much in San Diego. But your rain chances for this week, obviously not much at all through Thursday. And then Friday, as that next round comes through, we'll time it out a little better here over the next few days, let you know how much is coming, but it may impact some of your weekend plans, at least the first half of your Saturday. Temperatures slowly moving upward here by Thursday, Friday into the mid-60s. So we're on our way up a little bit there. We're going to stay in the 40s for the mountains. Eric, I'll send it back to you. That update. Today, San Diego police want to hear from you about their plan to install what's being called smart streetlights. That includes cameras and license plate readers. We're already hearing some concerns about this idea. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol live outside the Otay Mesa Nestor Branch Library, where people can meet there this morning. Good morning, Dana Marie. We've been talking about how the madness weather-wise was certainly impacting us all year long. Well, here in San Diego this week, I can say at least for 4 days, we're going to see some pretty mild conditions. That was a beautiful shot, Hotel Del, where the sun is shining at our beach in Coronado. Now, you'll notice some areas where you won't see as much of that sun. In fact, zooming in close here, you'll notice across our maps, most of the clouds right over the ocean, the marine layer coming in, and then a few wispy high clouds. That's really all we're getting for today. 39 in Escondido, 43 Fallbrook, 45 in Carlsbad. We were watching for that chance of drizzle here this morning, mainly because of a storm system that's way up north, but it's going to be really minimal, not really impacting your morning commute, hopefully. Here's a look at your afternoon temperatures. These look pretty nice. 60 in Imperial Beach, low 60s, National City, Chula Vista. Obviously, it's not this dramatic warm up by any means, but over the next few days, you'll notice these temperatures moving on up to the mid 60s for a change. So we've been hovering in this region for several days now, upper 50s, low 60s for most of San Diego. That's still below normal, and it's mainly because we do have cold air that's coming through. This next system, this has been impacting the Northern California region since Saturday, hanging on until Tuesday. So yeah, quite a few days of snowfall, and more rainfall too. Now we're watching for the next round, this low. It's going to sweep in with another, what looks like an atmospheric river. That will bring us rain chances for Friday, Saturday. Still really early to time this out and let you know how big of a storm it'll be for San Diego. But until then, enjoy the mid-60s. That's what we'll get for most of San Diego here by Wednesday, Thursday into Friday. Checking out we do have a little bit of cloud coverage, as you'll notice, kind of looks smoky over our mountains. Don't worry, these are just clouds. Otay Mountain out east. Our sunrise came up at 6:10 earlier and earlier. We're springing forward on Sunday. Don't forget. Here's a look right now at our temperatures. 49 degrees for downtown San Diego, and we're headed to the upper 60s. 62 downtown, 60 Miramar, 59 in Poway. The big picture, here's what we can expect. A few clouds rolling in this morning, but not expecting rain chances until the end of the week. So it's going to take until Friday, Saturday before we see that come into town. Eric?
All right.
See, obviously the sun rises a little later, but the sun sets will be a little later. So if you've been enjoying hanging out later in the afternoons, that might be a good one for you. Obviously, people look forward to that, especially in San Diego when we see the sun a lot. Not so much this year, but we will see it this week at least. In fact, this morning we're looking at it throughout downtown San Diego, looking pretty nice right there, shining across downtown. We do have some areas where you'll notice the marine layer creeping on in. Here's a look right now. Otay Mountain east facing, that sun coming on up, and it's not going to warm us up too much today. Mount Soledad's view pretty nice as well, 50 degrees there for downtown. So what we're going to get to today will be partly cloudy skies here and there, mostly sunny though for this morning, and then you'll notice in North County that's where it might be a little cloudier for you. A lot of that though will clear by about your lunch break, and then we do get more clouds later tonight and tomorrow morning. Another marine layer kind of start to the day, but throughout the day Tuesday, most of it will be sunny and nice. So our temperatures are going to warm up gradually this week, at least through Thursday, before we then watch our next chance of rain. So I want to show you your afternoon highs for today. Plan your Monday out accordingly. Pick what you want to wear for today that'll feel comfortable in 60-degree weather. So most of you will be in the low 60s. National City 62, same with El Cajon, Santee. Not much difference whether you're at the beach or inland valleys. Mira Mesa 60, downtown San Diego 62, 59 for you in Del Mar, same with Solana Beach, low 60s in Oceanside and Carlsbad, and then you're looking at Fallbrook 59 degrees. So in North County, a quick mention, the drizzle this morning might impact you a little teeny tiny bit. We're noticing a little bit of that coming from a system that's way up there. So it's the center of it right here just off the coast of Washington and Oregon, but you'll notice on the southern end of this, there's plenty of rain and snow still coming through Northern California. That snow started arriving Friday night into Saturday. By Tuesday, tomorrow, it'll still be hovering over there, unfortunately. So obviously pummeling them even more. Then another round expected Friday. This low tapping into all this moisture to the south. This one more like an atmospheric river that could bring us some rain chances Friday into Saturday. The timing and the amount of rain that we may get from that still is too early to really pinpoint, but I can at least tell you that Friday, Saturday, expect some rain and plan accordingly for that if you had outdoor plans. Until then, though, rain chances barely anything, just that little bit of drizzle this morning. So you'll notice each afternoon we will see a little uptick from the upper 50s, low 60s to the mid 60s by Thursday. We'll hang in the mid 60s through Friday, Saturday, even Sunday. Monday getting closer to 70 degrees. With that chance of rain here Friday, Saturday, though, it's going to be a warmer system, so not right there. So I'll work to get some information on that. Also a stalled car, as you'll see right there. But zooming into this one, this just popped up as well. This one right on Saturn Boulevard at Palm. This tends to be a busy part of town here for the early morning commute. Let's get a check now of your Big Bear snow report. There you go. Some of you in North County may get a little more of that marine layer this morning. A slight drizzle up north near Camp Pendleton, but that's it. Look at downtown, though. Gorgeous. Let's show you what's going on our other camera view from Mount Soledad. 50 degrees. That's your temperature right along the coast. Throughout the day today, partly cloudy conditions. There is a system that's way up north, but it's not impacting us. You see here, upper 50s, low 60s for your afternoon highs. There's that system. It'll eventually move along. Our temperatures will gradually warm up. But then on Friday, we're watching this one tapping into an atmospheric river. So that's expected to bring us our next chance of rain. But you have a few days. We have a goal for you. Each week we do this. And this can be something you can try to do anytime this year. There are upcycled fashion events that happen all around San Diego all the time. Something to look for. So if you've not been to one of these, here's what it's all about. This is video from a previous one that was at Pure Project near Balboa Park. And it's your chance to go through all of these secondhand clothes, jeans, dresses, jackets, you name it. Find outfits that are fashionable. They're also sustainable, of course, because you'll be wearing them again and again. So this is an example from a local environmentalist, a fashion expert, Positive Fee. In fact, we featured her here on our show before. She's holding another event like this March 12th. It'll be at Pure Project in North Park. So you pay $45. You'll get a beer there at Pure Project or any non-alcoholic option too if you'd like. They also have kombucha, and you can fill up a reusable bag with as much clothes as you want. So it'll certainly be more than $45 worth that can fill up in that bag. This event mainly for women and children coming up on Sunday, but they often have events with men's clothes too. You can also drop off any of your clothes that you're no longer wearing. So for this week's goal, attend one of these upcycling events, find fashionable, sustainable clothes, reworn clothes. They'll be like new for you, right? There are plenty of stores that do this as well. We want to mention Soloka. They're in Barrio Logan, one that we've also featured on our show before. They use a lot of fabrics like from places like upholstery stores and actually turn them into jackets, jeans, shirts. If you have an outfit that you're proud of by way of upcycling, send us a picture through the CBS 8 app using the Near Me feature. We want to see you show it off. You can also find a link to this weekend's event at our website, cbs8.com/earth8. For Pacific Beach right now, you will want that sun protection, especially this week. We don't have many storms to discuss for San Diego until Friday, Saturday. So a few days where we'll see a gradual warm up. We're not talking 70s quite yet, but right around 60 degrees. That's what today will bring us. This view is so pretty in Pacific Beach. Look, we got a lineup of surfers out there. I saw quite a few on Sunday. I think they were all really antsy to get in the water. And your surf forecast for today, 2 to 4 footers. Should be nice. We have extra pull, by the way, from high to low tide. High tide around 8:15. Low tide will be about 3 p.m. Let's talk now about your skies this morning from Mount Soledad. If we can go to our weather graphics, you will be able to see our views. Let's show you our weather graphics, if you don't mind. We'll go to that. Here we are, looking at our satellite imagery, where you'll notice a few little areas of speckles of very light green. So light drizzle expected coming through with just the cloud coverage. None of this will be measurable. It likely won't even hit the ground. A lot of it staying over the ocean, as you see. Now, overall, the bigger picture here shows the system that's still bringing down rain and snow for Northern California. Our friends there have been buried 7 to 8 feet of snow in 1 week. They've had 500 inches for some of these ski resorts. That's 41 feet of snow this season. So just think about how much that is. Homes are buried, cars are buried. I mean, snow has piled up. Now, looking at our skies, it's hard to believe we share the same state, right? But 50 degrees here in San Diego, and the terrain, the way the state is actually just positioned where we are on the southern end, we don't get as much of that impact as what they're seeing, at least not the next several systems. 46 degrees right now, Poway, 43 in Escondido, 50 downtown, 48 in Chula Vista, 34 in Julian, and your afternoon highs. This is not bad. Low 60s, very similar to the weekend. 62 in Santee and El Cajon, Chula Vista 62, downtown 62, 57 for you in La Jolla. So upper 50s at the coast, low 60s for a lot of you as well, and it should feel pretty mild all week. We'll eventually get to the mid 60s here by Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Looking at our cloud mix coming through, a few pockets of clouds, and then the sun will come out, then the clouds will come back. So tonight, early tomorrow morning, expect another day with the marine layer, and then sunny afternoon. So overall, I mean, we're kind of in this nice, calm weather pattern for this week until Friday, when things will change. So there's an atmospheric river in our forecast yet again. Let's show you kind of the wider view here. This is that low that we showed you with the snow coming through the Tahoe region. And what's going to happen is a second low then dives in right behind it. So watch that. This will move further south. As it does that, oof, there it is. It taps into this next round of rain, this next atmospheric river. Look at this big plume right there. And all of that will dump heavy rain over California yet again. So Friday into Saturday for us in San Diego, we are expecting the tail end of it. Right now, it's still very early to know the timing exactly or how much we can get. But yes, the next round's coming. Just enjoy the next 4 days, though, as we see that gradual warming and sunny afternoons. Here's a time now for, and unfortunately, there are a few incidents that have popped up right there near the Coronado Bridge downtown. So a heads up, that might slow you down a little bit. Let's take you now to this crash right here. It is causing some slowing. This is at Saturn and Palm Boulevard, so you may want to try to avoid that intersection there. Eric.
All right, thank you for that, Neda. The plan
Beach and very clear conditions, as you see, at least in this spot. You'll get a few clouds coming through today, but we'll call it partly cloudy. Let's show you what's going on from Mount Soledad. As you look across downtown, we have warmed up to 55 degrees now, and 46 in El Cajon, 47 in Poway at this hour. Your afternoon highs, here you go, right around that 60-degree mark. Pretty calm, mild conditions today all the way through Thursday, but we will see our next chance of rain here by Friday and Saturday as another system with an atmospheric river comes through, possibly affecting us here in San Diego. It's still very early to time it out and give you the amount of posted on what happens out of the courtroom. Thank you for that. Hundreds of new parking meters may be coming to Pacific Beach now. So parking already is quite a hassle, but some leaders in the community think more meters a good idea because the money will then be used for a new shuttle service.
And that will connect the beach community to the new trolley stop at Balboa and Marina. The goal
the end of the week, though. So we have a good 4 days, solid days, where we're expecting pretty mild conditions. Our weather pattern will just be that normal marine layer and afternoon sunshine. This morning, you're waking up to that sunshine, Pacific Beach. It is a perfect dog walking kind of start to the day, and temperatures will be fairly cool. The 50s to low 60s. So that's it. We will be below average for today. 55 degrees already, though, for downtown San Diego, where the sun has been shining bright on these beautiful towers, our skyline right there. And we're only going to inch our way a few more degrees up. So don't expect this dramatic warm up throughout this afternoon. 49 degrees in Poway right now, 45 in Escondido, 47 in Encinitas. So you'll notice it's a little bit cooler for some inland spots compared to downtown. That's the winner of our warmer location. In fact, you we match Borrego Springs right now. 27 degrees Mount Laguna, so no warm up happening in our mountains, at least not yet. But you're head to the 40s, 41 in Palomar, 46 Julian. We were checking on those mountain cameras. The snow is dwindling, so unfortunately a lot of that has melted off each afternoon because we haven't had the below freezing conditions, and no storm in San Diego to add to the piles that we saw last week. Unfortunately, a lot of this stormy weather is still up in California, but northern, so the Tahoe region. For us, what this means, well, we're going to stay calm. There's a little tiny chance of drizzle up in North County this morning because LA is getting some of that drizzle as well from what's really happening way up north. I'll show you that in a moment. But over the next few days, no chance there, very minimal. And then by Friday, Saturday, you'll notice 50 to 40% chance here. So it's all because of a couple systems. So let's time this out. Here's the one that came through over the weekend. We saw a lot of heavy snowfall all across this region here. The mountains, the Sierra Nevada mountains have received 500 inches. That's about 41 feet of snow for this season. This past week, they got 7 to 8 feet of snow. So just think about how much that piles up. Cars have been buried, homes have been buried. Unfortunately, that's why people have been stuck. And this system isn't moving. I mean, from Saturday to basically tomorrow, it's just going to continue to bring a lot of that moisture. Now, it will eventually by Wednesday start to head east, but then there's another one coming through. As that sweeps south, it'll tap into this moisture right here. This is another atmospheric river. Look, you can literally see the river in the upper levels, and that will all come together to bring more heavy rain central up to Northern California. For us in San Diego, you're wondering, what about us? Well, we do get the tail end of these. So Friday into Saturday, that's when we're expecting the next round. If that atmospheric river moves a little further south, we could see a lot more, but it could also move further north, and we may not get anything. So right now, it's still really early to time it out for you, but here you go. That 8-day shows that moisture Friday, Saturday. Live camera over by Del Mar, if my memory serves me correct. You'll notice a few clouds hanging over the ocean. Our marine layer, that's all we're seeing. A few high wispy clouds coming through as well. Mount Soledad's view, there's Mission Bay, there's downtown, of course, and temperatures already up to the mid-50s. So we're on our way up, slowly but surely. Not too high, though, today. 51 in Poway, 44 in Ramona, 48 in El Cajon. You'll get to 62 in El Cajon, 59 in Poway, 60 in Vista. And as we watch for our next round of rain, it's coming, but not until Friday and Saturday. So expect a pretty mild, at least known, of a newer form of identity theft that's now been happening. It's called SIM swapping. So basically, a scammer might already have your personal information, like your phone number, and then will call your cell phone company pretending to be you. Then another weekend, we may see a little bit of it. Right now, it's still too hard to really gauge the timing and the amount of rain. This is an atmospheric river, and if they shift a little south or a little north, it could make or break us. So it's kind of really early right now to pinpoint it. But for now, enjoy the sun shining over Del Mar, as you see. There's a little bit of cloud coverage way over the ocean, and we were watching for a chance of light drizzle here this morning, but that since has dissipated. It looks like we're just getting a little bit up activity up in Oceanside, Camp Pendleton area. Mount Soledad, as you'll look over towards downtown, pretty nice, 55 degrees, as you'll see right there, the weather station downtown showing winds are calm, dew point levels, they're fairly low, humidity in the mid-60s, so nothing too major to note. 52 already in Poway, so you're moving on up, 49 in El Cajon, 46 in Ramona. You're in the 20s, though, still, for Mount Laguna and Palomar, 34 in Julian, so still very cold in our mountain communities, but this afternoon, a lot of that snow will likely keep on melting. Compared to 24 hours ago, we're a little bit cooler, 1 to 2 degrees. And then for this afternoon, here's what you can expect: 60 in Imperial Beach, 62 Chula Vista, same with National City. So low 60s. All of this very similar to what we had yesterday, the day before that, and the day before that. So each afternoon, we've stayed below average, but temperatures right around that 60-degree mark, about 5 degrees below normal for most of San Diego. 46 this afternoon in Julian, 43 in Mount Laguna. So that's when you'll likely see some of that snow melting. In the deserts, upper 60s as well. So very similar conditions wherever you are based on the microclimates. We're not seeing major changes. Then overall, as our skies kind of do get cloudier this afternoon, do you expect that we could see Pockets of sun, obviously, this morning, as we're seeing throughout much of San Diego. But then we'll start to see the clouds build up. The marine layer comes on back tonight, early tomorrow morning as well. And then it does clear. So Tuesday's looking nice. By Wednesday, pretty mild again. Same with Thursday. Then it's the bigger picture that I want to show you where we'll notice some changes happening. So for now, there is another storm system up in Northern California. This has been bringing some heavy rain and snow for the Tahoe region. Now, they had over 8 feet of snow right there in 1 week's time. So think about that, how much snow that is added on top of the more than 30 feet that they had already received for the season. So this system is pretty stubborn, about 3-4 days now that it's going to continue to bring them wet weather. And then there's another one behind it, then that taps right in to this next atmospheric river. So that's what I mean. If it stays north, we may not get any of it. If it moves further south, we'll get a lot of it. So it kind of depends. Right now, it looks like we will see some of that rain, but again, not until Friday, Saturday. And then as you look beyond that, at least they're going to get into when they have chicks.
So they think they're going to get chickens and that they're going to get eggs immediately. And that's just not going to happen.
Okay.
So first,
Have eggs, not anytime soon. 6 months from
lovely. And she's a 2-year-old, so she.
menopause happens, okay?
Right, menopause happens. Then we have to decide what are we going to do with our pets now, right?
Right.
So it's choices.
So people need to understand that it's not an endless supply of eggs, which I'm sure people are hoping for because they're so expensive right now.
Right, right. And so
Shortage, crisis, if you will. So tell me about that. Is that a concern in San Diego?
It is.
Buy these chicks and forget about them. I mean, it requires work. Tell us about that a little bit more.
Right.
Then you take them outside, but they need a place to bring a dog. I mean, there's all these things to think about because in the city, people are wanting to do this too. Real quick, I know you have this big event Saturday.
Yes.
How, when, and where? How can people take part in this?
okay, so Fallbrook, Escondido, and Santee starts at 9 a.m.
Great.
We do suggest if you have your heart set on a specific breed, you get there early because there will be a line.
Okay, there's a high demand. Thank you all for being here and for bringing all of your knowledge and these adorable coming through our marine layer, creeping its way over the ocean. This is our live look in Del Mar. It was sunnier not too long ago, so a sign that those west to east winds will pick up. We'll get a few more clouds this afternoon. 55 in Del Mar, 57 downtown, 52 El Cajon, 48 in Ramona. Enjoy the morning sunshine this afternoon, upper 50s to low 60s. We are watching for another storm system, but it's going to take its time. We have about 4 days of mild weather, a nice gradual warm up here Wednesday through Thursday, even into Friday, Saturday when the rain comes. It's a warmer system. So those are the 2 days where we're watching for that. Thank you for bringing that to us. Right now, local organizations demanding immigrations and customs enforcement, also known as ICE, release people at 2 different detention centers and shut those.
Into our newsroom, U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested 3 men believed to have entered the country illegally.
Yeah, you see them here right along the boardwalk. Lifeguards say they received reports of people in the water who needed help. This was all before 6 in the morning. CBS 8's Chris Groh live in Ocean Beach now to explain what's been happening out there this morning. Over this past weekend, giving voters a taste of the crowded race for the White House come 2024. President Joe Biden marching across the historic Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, commemorating the 58th anniversary of what happened there, Bloody Sunday. At the march, the president drew a line from that pivotal civil rights moment to right now. Seriously, quite amazing what he was able to do and carry on his tail. It was bright yellow enough that the Lady Sea Dragon took a liking to it. Let's show you what's going on across our skies. Hopefully you take a liking to this. We're going to have pretty mild weather over the next 3 to 4 days. We're just going to see some clouds coming through, a little mix of sun and clouds, sun and clouds. That's pretty much our forecast here with temperatures right around 60 degrees. As we look across satellite imagery here, you'll notice that little patch of green. Nothing major. This is not going to bring us any rainfall or anything like that. The bigger picture does show that a lot of any moisture is winding down. We saw a little bit of activity in Los Angeles County, and then it crept down into about Camp Pendleton earlier this morning, but that has since left us. The system way up here, though, very stubborn. This has been impacting Northern California since about Friday into Saturday, and it's bringing heavy snowfall still for the Tahoe area. All these mountains Mountains right there. So unfortunately, they have not had a break. We just showed you a lot of people getting stuck in these mountain communities. The roads are way too dangerous as the snow piles up for people to drive and access. Snow plows cannot keep up, and they're not getting much of a break. 61 degrees for us in San Diego. It is feeling pretty nice outside. 57 in El Cajon, 58 La Mesa, 57 in Chula Vista. Now, keep in mind, these temperatures are below normal. We should be about 5 to 7 degrees warmer this time of year, but it's just been a cooler stretch here. 1 to 2 degrees warmer compared to yesterday at this time. Taking you over the next few hours. Obviously, we'll stay right around the 60-degree mark till about 3 p.m., and then you'll see a little drop off there. As the sun sets, it, of course, gets a little cooler. If you do want to head to the beach, we've seen a lot of people trying to enjoy the water since they've been missing out a bit on that after the rain and the runoff. Keep in mind, we do have pretty big waves. Chris Grow mentioned that in Ocean Beach. We saw the waves crashing right underneath the pier, so it is a little rough out there. Rip current risk moderate. Low tide, I want to show you this because around 3 p.m. might be a good time to go for a walk. We have a bigger pull on our tide because tomorrow morning will be a full moon. So during this full moon time, you'll see these bigger fluctuations between high to low. Now, if hiking is more your thing, upper 50s for this afternoon, this would be Mount Woodson. Expect a few clouds to join you in the mix. As you'll notice here, our cloud forecast model does show a little pockets of opening here and there. So you'll see that sun today, tomorrow. Expect the marine layer to be pretty thick, though, tomorrow morning, but then the afternoon should be nice and clear, looking pretty good. The bigger picture does show this storm system will eventually move east, but another one is right behind it. So I'll talk more about that here in just a few minutes. For now, though, let's show you that 8-day. Expecting maybe Friday night into Saturday to be our next round of rain. Until then, though, enjoy the mild conditions and this gradual warm-up. Eric?
We've had rain so much during the weeks,
Right.
middle of the weeks. It's not looking too bad for the week, right?
Yeah, it's really nice. It's actually more rare to say that we're having a calm week than a stormy week. So, hey, we have that going for us. If you were enjoying the weekend, kind of that break from the stormy weather here, hey, the next 4 days, I can say, things are looking a lot milder here in San Diego. Look at this gorgeous view from Mount Soledad. This is, of course, towards the south where you see the Coronado Bridge. There's Coronado right there in downtown. Mission Bay right here in the foreground, and we are looking at a little bit of cloud coverage coming in by way of the marine layer, which you know, that will be something we'll talk about here over the next few days, but really that's the extent of the change in our weather. Maybe some clouds and then some sun. The storm tracks are staying to the north of us. We're talking up in Northern California. That's where the latest storm still is, bringing rain and snow. We'll show you that in a moment, but we do have a slow warm-up, I should say. Don't mix up my words there. A slow warm-up, which we'll get here really by the end of the week. We'll see our temperatures going from around 60 to about the mid-60s, more closer to normal for this time of year. And then we're tracking our next round of rain, which we are expecting by at least the first half of our weekend, so Friday into Saturday. I'll show you all of that in a moment. For now, though, let's just gaze at our beautiful skies. Otay Mountain, one of these cameras looking out towards the east. We saw the sunrise this morning at 6:10 live on our morning show, of course, and it was pretty nice. It did help warm things up a little bit. Our overnight temperatures didn't drop as low to require that frost advisory, which was something we saw last week, for example. But overall, I mean, really, all we're getting, few high clouds and a little bit of marine layer cloud coverage. Any green you see, that's just moisture in the clouds. Nothing measurable, nothing that's actually going to fall down on you. But that's not the case for Northern California. This cold system passing through, and this low has hovered over them for a while. This past weekend, they got 48 to 50 inches of snow in some of these ski resorts. They've already reported more than 40 feet. So just think about that, 40 feet of snow over this past season, this past week. Many of them got 7 to 8 feet. So cars have been buried, homes have been buried. You saw rooftops with piles and piles of snow on top of them. There's a lot of cleanup they need to do, but they're not getting a break. In fact, let me take you right to the next system that we're watching for here in our region. It's not going to be as cold of a system. So what we're going to see once this passes along, this low will dive down in this right here. That's an atmospheric river. That's going to bring a ton of rain into California yet again on Friday. For us in San Diego, we'll get the very tail end, it looks like. So Saturday, that's when we could see our next round of raindrops. It's still very early to time it out and let you know the amount that we'll get. But until then, enjoy this mild warm-up at least. Eric. Bills. They've been higher than ever for a lot of you. So the utility wants to raise rates even more for next year. This is your chance to weigh in today. The California Public Utilities Commission holding 4 different public hearings for feedback. So we're working for you, trying to track down how this will impact your bill. We've broken down the numbers here. So if the rate gets approved, your monthly electric bill would go up $8.45 per month, as you see. Your gas bill would then go up $9.16 per month, so it could be about $20 more. SDG&E says the rate increase will help them maintain safety and reduce their emissions. Today's hearing will be remote. It'll be at 6 p.m. It's the first of 4. You can also leave these written comments ahead of time. And now here are some of the comments that many of you have been sharing with the CPUC. Lainey out of Chula Vista writing, in part, this is insane. SDG&E needs to stop with this insanity of increased rates. It's ridiculous, she says, on how you guys keep ripping the citizen here just because you are our only option. This is very unacceptable. And then let's take a look at John out of La Mesa. He says, CPUC, you're supposed to be the public entity that looks after the citizens of California. Why is that not happening? Here in San Diego, SDG&E, we are paying the highest energy rates in the country, and now they're asking for a rate increase with exclamation there. Please do your job and stop the insanity. My bills have tripled. So if you want to weigh in during these hearings, we have all the information on how you can do that at cbs8.com. Just click on the help here. So hopefully you've been enjoying this mild weather pattern. We're going to have this for a few days. Little sun, few clouds, partly cloudy, we'll call it, for the next few days. And temperatures will stay below average today and tomorrow before we warm up. Here's our view from Otay Mountain, looking out towards the east there. Our sunrise was at 6:10, tomorrow 6:09. We will have a full moon, just so you know, late tonight, early tomorrow morning. You may notice that really bright light again. Yeah, it'll be full at 4:40 a.m. in case you're wondering the exact moment. Here's a look right now at our satellite imagery where you'll see a little bit of marine layer clouds coming through. We have a bit of an onshore flow here coming in from the coast and then up north. That's where more of that moisture is. We talked about this earlier with 7 to 8 feet of snow that came in 1 week for some of the Tahoe resorts, equaling more than 41 feet of snow for this season for them. So yeah, a lot of digging out to do. Unfortunately, people are still stuck in some of these mountain communities. 61 degrees though for San Diego under these mostly sunny skies. 58 La Mesa, 58 in El Cajon, 59 Del Mar, 57 in Poway, 59 in Escondido. We're a little bit warmer than yesterday, 1 to 2 degrees. So let's talk about what we can expect through the week. You'll notice here in San Diego, very calm. Any type of moisture, all of that's staying to the north, even with the next system that's coming through. Once that low moves on, another one enters in. Now watch what happens here. We have this long line of moisture, and unfortunately, yeah, that's another atmospheric river dumping rain over much of central to northern California. This will really come through Friday into Saturday, but for San Diego, look, there it is, that little tail end. So Saturday is when we will likely see our rain chances, but it doesn't look like much. So it kind of depends on where the lineup of that atmospheric river is. If it stays up north, we won't even get a drop. If it moves further south, we could get a decent amount. It's still early to tell. Until then, though, enjoy the gradual warm up. We'll be in the mid 60s for most of San Diego by the end of the week. Heather.
I'm just excited.